Okay, hope my battery holds up. Good morning. Good afternoon. We're going to do the Tai Chi Paradigm for Parkinson's, and we're going to go through some of the basic fundamentals and follow along the best you can. Try to pick up on the strategies that we work with to improve and try to help prevent some of the problems you might be having, or just the learning, the ability to learn and follow is a technique, and you have to watch very closely to try to pick up on what we're doing. And then the idea of relaxing, the term I use a lot, is to release tension in the body, because tension is something that's conflicting with movement, and without eradicating that, or at least mentally thinking to relax or find out what it takes to get your arm to move, then that's what it takes to release and get the movement to happen. So if you think about it, if you just go like this and your arm doesn't bend, what do you have to do? You have to actually relax your tricep. It kind of lets you fold your arm, and then go like that. You have to relax these. So that happens throughout your body, because a muscle contracting causes an action, a muscle relaxing causes, the opposite thing to happen. So it's the muscle groups that are doing this. Just holding a position like this, which is what we do in the first exercise, is finding a position and releasing the tension in the shoulders so your arm actually drops a little bit. Okay, so that's the position we're looking for, and then we can turn the body, and at the same time we turn the body, but we don't have a lot of stiffness in the shape of our arms. We just want to hold this position as lightly as possible, but activate your back. So the muscles that take you in this direction have to be recruited. So that's just try to do it. Think and turn. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now when we're doing that, don't move the arms like this, because that's what you're going to see initially, that the arms are moving across. But there's two ways of doing it. One is doing this, and you see your arms can't stay round because they become different lengths. Now if you hold this position and you keep them tracking together, then the body's going to be following that, okay? Or the body is leading that. Okay, next movement, we're here. And we're going in that direction toward the fingertips. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So if we're pushing over like this or bending over like this, you can see that there's this triangle here, and this is rounded over here. And the more flexible you are, the more rounding you'll get. But don't worry if it's not too round, it's because it takes some time to build. Now do it slowly and let this kind of expand. And expanding is letting the body relax so that you can bend over. Now this is the side that's contracting. This is the side that's opening. So that happens on both sides. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and stop. Okay, great. Next, hands up, shoulder width, shoulder width. Okay, shoulder width and shoulder level. So this is shoulder level. Reach down, stretch. 1, 2, 3. We don't have to go all the way down to the toes, just side to side, just about where the knees are. Lift up, inhale, exhale. Lift up, reach the thighs, slide down the thighs, get to the knee. 1, 2, 3. Now you're releasing the back. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Center, inhale, exhale. Let's do one more set. So we're going to go up, reach down. 1, 2, 3. Now if you can go a little lower, you can. Move to one side, move to the other side, and back to center. Inhale, exhale. Okay, hands on your waist, circular movements. Going around. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Okay? Cross. Reach down. Hold the knees. Bend the knees. 1, 2, 3. We're making circles. Relax the ankles. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and stop. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Okay, nice. Hands on your waist. Okay, now we're going to turn to the sides. We're looking in a direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Center. Tilt to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and stop. Center. Rotating down. 1, 2, 3. Reverse. 1, 2, 3. Center. Hands up. Pull in. Inhale. Up on your toes. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, let's spread our feet. So pivoting on the ball of your foot and then the heel is just, you can just do this as an exercise, just moving your feet in and out. So it does take a little control, but it's good to try to get that to happen, all right? Now once we spread our feet and you're in this V position, it's wider than shoulder width, gives you some stability when we turn and relax the back. Let it turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, shake it out. Now let's pull the feet together. Let's bring our feet together like this in a triangle position. We're going to pivot on the ball of the feet. So now we're in a shoulder width stance. Okay, let's bring it back in. Okay, let's open it up. Open it up. Okay, so that's a maneuver. We turn the feet on the ball, turn the feet by pivoting on the balls of your feet, and that gets your heels in, get your heels out. Okay. Now we turn this way, and turn this way, it takes us in a turn, a 90-degree turn, breaking it down to two pivots, one here and one here, and then we turn back. Okay, now pivot this way and this way. And we go forward and back, and then we turn. Now, people are following. I can't see you, but the thing is, if you have problems with this, if you can chat with us and say, oh, I have a little trouble with that exercise. Can you review that or tell me exactly what I should be doing? So I can try to slow things down and help you out and explain to you why we do it a certain way. So this is a pivot off the ball of the feet, and it takes us in a direction. So we have one toe and one heel, and then we go forward and back. This is something that we do a lot in Tai Chi because we shift our weight. Shifting weight means bringing the weight forward and then carrying the weight on the back leg. So what's happening is your knees alternate. And that's something that builds a relationship in the body because the body itself works in a certain way where you're synchronizing your joints to create some type of movement. So there's synchronization here where the two knees are kind of alternating and yielding to each other. Because when one bends, the other one straightens. When one straightens, the other one bends. Okay, and we go back to center, we go to the other side. Then the same thing happens. You go forward, there's a bent knee, backwards a bent knee, and you go forward and back. Now when you go forward, this is called an archer stance, or archer, like a draw of the bow, that type of an archer. Now this is leaning on forward stance. When you sit back, that's the empty stance. Now the empty stance can be toe up with the heel touching the ground. It could be toe down. That's an empty stance. So you can go forward and back to the heel, or you can go to a toe position. That's also an empty stance. So you have three positions that could be classified as an empty stance. And empty means emptying the weight off the front leg. So now I wouldn't be able to move this foot if it was very heavy. So the heavy foot is the weighted one. The light one is the unweighted one. And we pivot like this. Okay, so to get in a direction, you kick the heel out, so we spin. So you see the body's moving like this. You see the body's moving like this. Okay, so you only have to spin 45 degrees. So the toe is pointing that corner, and then we straighten this foot out. So there's, I mentioned, breaking it down to two 45-degree movements. One leg, 45, and then this one spins. Actually, this one actually goes 90 degrees. That takes you to the full turn. Okay, and then we go like this. The increments of 45 degrees is really this. One, the hip is 45 degrees, and then it turns the other 45 degrees. That creates a 90 degrees at the foot, but the two actions comes from the hip turning. Now if I go like this, and I turn this, there's the other 45 degrees. So that's really the relationship between turning the corner into 45-degree quadrants. It's 45 degrees, hips are there, pointing the corner, and then it turns the other 45. That turns 90 as a result of this forward and backward position. Now I'm going to pivot like this, and here we are in the shoulder width stance. So that's a technique and a strategy of how to pivot and move our body without actually picking up the feet a lot. Okay, so that really is used to direct. Take us in a direction and then take your steps, whether it's step forward or step backwards. And that's real important when we're making transitions. Okay, now with our feet like this, okay, and we turn in a direction, it would be a little difficult until we shift our weight. So the best thing to do is shift your weight and then bring it over to here. Let's go back to shoulder width step. Shift your weight and go to this position. Now this position is the sort of the ideal position to walk because you're not actually too wide. I mentioned that in the last class. If your feet are too wide, you have trouble transitioning, because if I want to move this foot, I'd have to bring it all the way over here, and that kind of is an extreme, and it's kind of hard to do. So, and if you take your step, it would end up like this. See, so that's really not passing through center. It's really waddling. You're really two extremes. So in order to get to this side, I have to bend my knee and shift, or just lean. This is a little bit more stressful on the knee if you do that. So you bend and you move over, and now you can see that you can get over there. But you shouldn't start in such a big position. Go to the shoulder width and just keep it like that. There's about 2 inches between your feet, and you shift your weight toe to heel. So when we take our step, look at the toe position. That is done by moving the knee forward. Now, once the knee is forward, just bring the rest of the leg up. I shift my weight, my knee is bent, and I move it forward. Shift, knee is bent, and I touch down. So that's how we actually walk. Now, if I take my step like this, then I build the upper-lower relationship between the feet and the hands. If you go backwards, it's the same. The only difference is when you go backwards, you have to shift the weight to the back leg. So you have to go backwards. Okay. Now, when you bring the hand forward, it's when this foot is here, then you're like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you see that relationship. When I'm here, I go to forward position, sit back, okay, and the leg moves, and the leg moves, and the leg moves. So we actually have that reverse step in the form. It's called retreat and repulse the monkey. When you go forward, when we're going forward position, it's stepping forward, advancing forward, and it's in the brush knee movement, and it's in many of the other step-up positions. So that's all leg work. I brought up last time that when our feet are in this 2-inch position, we go like this. It takes you in the corner. It takes you in a corner, and you're here. So that footwork is actually part of what we do in the cloud hands. Cloud hand movements, we look in the mirror. It's this movement. So a lot of us has worked on this before. It's your cloud hands, and certain muscles being activated to move. Actually, you can see when I fold my arm that the bicep actually expands. Now this is lifting, rounding like it contracts. And then look at it when it goes down. It lets go. So that's what happens to the muscle, even though we know that it is. That's what your control is. You let the muscle contract and relax, muscle contract and relax. It's a cycle, and that's something that we're learning to do in a controlled fashion. So the same thing, your leg is essentially the same as your arm as far as, the different components. So the ankle is like your wrist, the knee is like your elbow, and the shoulder is like your hip joint. And those joints work in unison, so they fold, they unfold, they twist and they turn, they twist and they turn, they fold by bending and unbending, twisting, and they turn and turn, like the shoulder. So the shoulder goes up, the knees and ankles flex. So that's what we're trying to build, is that understanding, because the more we understand how the body works to create certain motions, then you realize how important it is to take out some of the tension in the body all this tension in the chest and the back, so forth, could inhibit some of the breathing, but it also won't let you twist. It won't let you bend because you have to get rid of that. Now, when we sit like this, like in preparation, we're learning to work our elbows and knees. Okay. Okay, now once we're in this position, let's do this. This is reversing the ball. It's like taking your steering wheel and flipping it like this. But we open the hands, and then when we bring our elbows out, we find this horizontal elbow, this vertical, and this horizontal. Now if we turn, kick the heel out, and turn like this, we can do silk reeling by going forward and back. Turn 1, 2, 3, 4, and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and down. So you see, setting up the parallel arm position is 1 and 2, 3 and 4, the separation, the splitting of the arms, and that's really what we're doing is spreading or splitting. That's splitting type of energy. Okay, now let's go back to the center. Let's go this way and see my foot. What I did was I toed out, actually I toed in by kicking the heel out, and then I end up here holding the ball, and then I let this foot out. I go forward and back. Now here's that starting position. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn and bring it back down. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And back down. Okay, a couple more. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll cycle through it a few times, just trying to capture the smoothness of this movement. And we're done. Okay, so that's called silk reeling. Okay. Next, we're going to take a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, let's cross the forearms. Okay, see my right hand's on the outside. Let's open and close. Open and close. Open and close. Okay, open and close. Now you see what happens? You're in horizontal circle and on this side and straight armed on this side. Okay, so we look at the profile, we can see that one's like this and one's like this. Okay, now we're on the other side, we're going to be going out, so we're like this. Okay, bring it up to here and turn. That sound sets up your position, and we cross and open. 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 Okay, shake it out. Hands up. Deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So listen, any questions? Okay, so we just did the open and closing movement, and as you notice that the hands are in a cross hand position. So cross hand position is a pretty standard position for, many of the movements that do to find the center line and expand from. Okay, now let's swing our arms. Let's get the center line going. We're here. Okay, we're going to take a step. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so maybe this is easier. If I face the mirror, I'm going to take a step. 1, 2, 3. I'm going back. 1, 2, 3. Go forward. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to do the 1, 2, 3, but without moving this leg. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we see how that happens? When I bring my right foot forward, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay, now it's left, right, left. Okay, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go left, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, and stop. So we see what happens is that this hand is separate from the opposite sides. Okay, so we're going to bring this foot here. Now that's the same side. 1, 2, 3. So I'm pausing so you can see sort of the body form. I'm going to do it on this side. 1, 2, 3. Now you can do this more than 3 times. I'm just doing that as you get an idea that there's that control and relationship where the two sides are building some synchronization as a coordination. And that's typically how you would walk. If you're going forward, going backwards the same. But we don't have to do the backward walk as much because typically most people will be walking forward. Generally, if you're walking backwards, you're probably not moving your arms. You're probably just backing up because not too many people walk backwards like that. You really either maybe resetting a position, you might move back or just backtracking. But a lot of times your arms are in your frontal position or you're carrying something or something like that. Okay, now we're going to go side to side. So side to side is opposite. Okay, and then back to center. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and stop. Now we're going to go this way with the arms and this way with the leg, and we'll come back to center. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and stop. Okay, good. Let's do another set of deep breathing. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Okay, now, what do we do next? We're going to do the hold the ball position. Okay, find that lower hoop position. Bend the knees slightly, and then move up to your shoulder height. So there's 2 positions. Hold the lower one first. So holding a position is sustaining a position. You try to do it as relaxed as possible, trying to maintain this with a state of relaxation, but yet enough energy or effort in the position just to sustain that shape. And you're kind of rounded, but the knees are bent, and that's kind of rounded as well. Now bring it up to shoulder height. This might be a little bit more tiring in the shoulders if you're tense. If you hold your hands up and then relax the elbows and drop the shoulders, let it go, let the tension go, you'll be more comfortable in this position. Okay, now let's kind of drop the elbows and let the hands flare out like this. So you're holding, it's like you're holding a chrysanthemum. It's a flower. It looks like it's got lots of petals. Tongue touching your roof of your mouth. Okay, now let's lower the hands and palms down. Okay, so now we straightened out the knees. We lifted the back a bit, chin tucked in slightly. Take the tension out of the nape of the neck, and then extend the fingertips. So you still feel that alignment. Breathe through your nose. And sana. Okay, hands up. Pull in, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Okay, good. Now we're going to go to a parallel arm position. Preparation. So this is the first movement in the sequence, in the form, and we're doing this. Circular movements, press down, bend the knees, relax, press down, bend the knees, relax. So here's cycling through these movements as the opening motion. Okay, then we're going to bring the hands together to center line and strum the lute. Okay, so strumming the lute is this triangular position, and you have one on each side. This is my right. Look in the mirror. It's a little easier to follow. My right and your left. Okay, my right and your left and my left. So we're working in the same direction. So I'm on this side and I'm on this side. Okay, so you can track that movement. That's called neutral, elbow down, strum the lute. Okay, vertical elbow, and this is thumbs up. Alternate the shoulders. And center. Now we're going to switch to the other side. Alternate the shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, bring the hands out. Turn and draw the bow. Turn and draw the bow. So look in the direction that you're facing and pull back. Opposite side. See, turn. I'm facing my right, but I'm pulling with the left. Turn to my left, and I draw back with the right. So see the point? Position. Okay, next. Fan to the back. We spread the feet, cross the forearms, lift the elbows, and go. 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 And we're on the right. Go. Okay, so just fan to the back. It's a big circle, that's all it is. One giant circle. And that applies to this side too, as well. Okay, now we're going to do one other exercise called raising the hand. Now raising the hand is just lifting straight up over your head and press down on the opposite side. This is up and down, and you get an expanded push in a direction, but don't tighten. Just elongate and let the ligaments and tendons reach its fullest extent so you get a bit of a stretch. And here we are. Do it one more time on the other side. And you can feel it kind of elongating. But it's really just opening up. You know, when muscles release, they just kind of expand. So that's what it feels like. So that's what you're developing when you're doing all these movements, is a sense of awareness and a sense of feeling. Because feeling is one way to help interpret the movement. It's one way to express the motion, because tension is a restrictor, and it also causes conflict in movement. So getting your chest to relax and your shoulders and this whole area, your whole torso to let go will allow you to breathe more efficiently, allows you to twist better, it allows you to bend better, because tension here, you know, if we just do this a few times, you can feel that this is a little bit of stretch, and then it pulls back, stretch, and it pulls back. So you see, when we bend, You feel that letting go, so that kind of opens up here. Then when you go like this, you can feel those muscles contracting to lift your butt back up, but it actually is pulling, it's tightening. So if you were just holding a tightened position, I just lean forward, you can still see that this stays pretty tight. So one of the things that we should do primarily is to stand. This is very important to keep the vertical spine. Okay, you don't want to stand like this and then tilt a little bit forward. That already is creating tension here. So if you're standing like that all day long, your back's going to feel very rigid and tight, and it would just knot up on you because your muscles can only work so long before they fatigue, and they can only work so long, provided it has the nutrients and the oxygen. But once that's depleted and you don't feel like your body's ready to do anymore, that's when you feel really tired in this area and you have to take a break. So then if you're doing that day in and day out, you're really creating a stronger back but not a happy back, because the strength in your back is from holding it, sustaining it, but that's not a good thing to do, because all you do is overworking the lower back, and what happens, you overwork your lower back is it gets tight and it gets fatigued and it keeps wanting to be tight, because that's a state that it's been in from holding a position in that leaning position. So the other thing is, when you lean over and you don't control it, the chance of toppling over forward is more likely, because you might just not concentrate and then you end up stumbling. Or even when you're like this, your feet can't catch up to the body because you're tight here, and then when you walk, you're really not really over your feet, because when you're going forward, unless you take the weight off, you end up taking a heavy step. And if you misstep, that's a fault. All right, so try to stand as straight as possible, and work toward that. Now, that's one of the exercises that we do, is when we shift over and we lift, that's one of the things that we do. For balance and stability, we lift and hold. We lift and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So these movements are actually another drill that you can do to help your balance. All right, and then the other things that we're doing with walking is for locomotion and be able to move your feet forward, and then alternating the hands, build that coordination. Okay, so now let's go like this. Here's a triangle. Okay, here's a circle, and here's a square. And then the hands down toward the waist is a slant. And then from slant position, we turn the palms up, and there's a triangle with the palms facing up. Okay, so that's triangle, circle, square, slant. Palms down, slant up. If I bring my hands out to the corners and I turn my palms out, there's single whip. Okay, where I pull the heels together and they're in the corner. If I open to the side and bend my knees, that's a position. I can hook my wrists and alternate them. I have a single whip position. That's what this is, a single whip. You will have one right and one left side, depending on which one it is. So that's another posture. So once we've gotten through all the warm exercises, we have to build this series of movements that are kind of linked us, sync together to create a form. So that's really a bunch of postures pulled together, strung together. And the first one is preparation. The first one is preparation. Then the next one is vertical left, vertical right, okay, vertical left, horizontal left, flip the hands, stroke down, vertical right, horizontal, and palm. So that's right or left and right beginning style. So when we do the form, and what I take people through in the beginning is the linear form. So if we're going like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So those movements are the hand movements. I didn't move my legs other than step up just to get us to the left side empty stance. So going 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I'm in a stance. Left side up, horizontal, palms together, flip the hands, bring it down, go to the right side, so vertical and horizontal. So vertical is this, horizontal is this, and you have one on each side. Okay, now we're going to do that with a transition stepping forward. So we're here. Preparation, left side, horizontal. Now I'm going to go to that leaning position. I'm going to sit back and turn this foot 45 degrees, pass through center, right foot forward, flip the hands, bring this hand down and bring it up. Now I'm on the right side. Thumbs up, press. Okay, so that's left and right side beginning style. So let's go over that again. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Bend the knees. 1, 2. Left leg, left hand. Forward, back. Toe out, right leg. Flip. 1, 2, 3. Press. Okay, so that's beginning left and right side. Now, grasp the sparrow's tail is made up of this, triangles, circles, squares, palms down, palms out, palms down, palms up. So between up and here is actually one's a push, one's a poke. Okay, now let's go to the right side. I'm going to go press 1, 2, inside hand 3, 4, and hook. So because learning is visual, you have to pick up what you see and what you recognize. Okay, so I went triangles, circles, and squares. But when I'm in this position, I have a circle. I go forward. I have a palm down that's slanting down toward the waist, and I have push forward with this. So that's what's happening on this side. So the same thing applies on the left side. You have a vertical, you have a horizontal, right? You have a hand that comes down and a hand that comes up, which is the push. So we have a horizontal 1, divert, right? Comes down and push. So this is really the motion of you smooth it out. 1, 2. But we're here. So here's your triangles. There's your push. Here's your vertical. Here's your horizontal. Here's your roll back. Here's your single whip. Okay, now we turn that foot 45. It's going over here. Now we open the stance and then open the stance. Single whip. Remember we talked about the corners? Okay, so you see we just built a piece of the form. It's the linear form, and if I were to show you how that looked so you can follow, or just watch. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then this is hold the ball, which is something that happens in the form a lot. Hold the ball position, shift to the weight, shift to the right, left, sorry. And then here, that's diagonal flying. And then this foot is going to go through center and then step out. This is almost like in the beginning when we first opened the phone. Now this is beginning style. Okay, now we're going up, and we're going up to here. So this type of thing is kind of setting up. Vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal. So that's a few of the postures. What were the postures? First one is preparation. Second one is left side vertical. Okay, so part of that when we transition forward is the horizontal left side. After making the couple of transitions that we did, which is 1, toe out, step up, and 2, we have the flipping of the elbows, and now we have the right side vertical and the right side horizontal. Now we do the palm down diverting, or set up your hands like this, and we line it up like this and draw down toward the waist. Now turn the inside hand up and push. Okay, so anytime we push in Tai Chi, we push with the sole or the palm of the hands, and when we push, it comes out about shoulder width and about shoulder level. Okay, so that's the push. Now, because grasshopper sparrow's tail only has one push, that's the one you're dealing with. And this is the support hand that goes right at the crook of the wrist like that. So we're just going 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you notice I did that a little bit trickier, but my hands never separated. So that shows you the continuity of the two sides working as a unit. See, so grasshopper sparrow's tail can be practiced as a connection exercise where the two hands are kind of working together. Because our hands either combine or separate. They kind of follow or lead, depending on how you interpret it and which side you want to be the driving force for that movement. So if I'm pulling down, this hand would be kind of pulling that one down, kind of leading. When I'm pushing out, it could be this hand leading it. So that gives you an idea that there's still that relationship that happens throughout all our movements, because without that relationship, we wouldn't be able to develop synchronization, coordination. And double-weighted is a concept where the weight is 50-50 in your feet. You don't have an ability to take a step because it's planted. In order to take a step, you're going to have to shift, center, and move, or shift, center, and move. So that has to become innate. And the more you do something like this, you'll begin to understand just from mental imagery and also listening for the strategy to get either a step going or moving to the side or whatever. So here, we're going to do that circular movement exercise. So we're going to go forward with the right, left, right. Then we're going to go backwards. Left, right, left. I pick it up slightly, 1, 2, 3. Now, initiate a movement with the left. 1, 2, 3. So I make a distinct motion or set it up so that I can make that first step. Now, because I'm going backwards, I have to shift the weight, pick up the foot, and initiate that first movement on the left. And then your hands are down. So you have one big circle with 3 steps. 1, 2. There's a circle. Here's a circle. Okay, so that's what's happening. Clockwise, forward, counterclockwise, backwards. But you can see there's a circle like this. And then just imagine the circle there. So you know what that's more like? Spiraling forward and spiraling back. It's like one of those Corolla donuts that they take the piece of dough and they twist it, and it comes out kind of twisted. So it kind of is doing that, and then you're kind of doing that. So I just mentioned that as a look, you know, not that I eat a lot of donuts because actually they're not good for you, anyways, because too much sugar in it. So that's just a tip. You don't have to take that advice if you want, but sugar is really bad for you if you shouldn't. It causes a lot of inflammation in the body. You can find that out. It's advised now that you shouldn't eat a lot of refined sugars or actually processed foods. So, you know, if with Parkinson's, you maybe not want to avoid some of those. I know Evelyn loves her pastries, but the thing is this, they're not really good for you, but I can only suggest it. I can't tell you not to eat them. But anyways, that's really something that's the food industry and a lot of the doctors and nutritionalists tell people not to avoid is a lot of the sugars and the processed foods. So, Luciana, what time we got? 1:22. What's it, to 1:30? Okay. So if you have any questions, that's part of it. Now, in cloud hands, we have this movement that goes like this, right? And it's going 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So what do we have? It's like this exercise that we do. We're going like this, and we go like this, right? What is it's just 2 circles, they're patterns, and then there's a circle here. Now we're using this one to make the circle. So in cloud hands, we just offset those 2 circles. So you get one going to the left, and one going to the right, and one going to the left, and one going to the right. Now when we go to the left, we want the weight to go over here. We want the weight to go over here. We go to the right. So a lot of times we just practice these in position. But that's not going to build the coordination that we want. We want to shift to right and left, and we shift to this direction, and then pause. Shift to this direction. Shift to this direction. Shift. So we get the hand going in the same direction as the foot. Now we're in the center here. It's kind of checking the weight. Now we start. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So this is setting up, and this is turning. This is setting up, and this is turning. So we go 1, 2, 3. 3. So this is cloud hands. But I'm adding the rotation because we have to go to that corner. So once you reach the point where the body is over this foot, this leg can move. So you have to find that position, because when you shift your weight, there's a point where the legs will want to close because you spread them apart. What happens is you spread them apart without actually picking it up, and you let this leg go, it's going to come in here. It's going to come in here. So why does that happen? It happens because gravity acts on your body. Okay, so the G in Tai Chi Paradigm represents the gravity, right? So gravity works on your body because it creates a force downward. So because your leg has a certain amount of weight and you relax this joint, it's going to come towards your center. If you go like this, I relax it, it's going to come toward my center because it's just free fall and it's kind of hanging there and it goes like this. But it's not obvious because if we're still in contact, unless we pick the foot up just enough to let it come in, that's how you find your center. And then once it's over there, I mean, I'm exaggerating it by showing you that it's just going to drop. But you can regulate that so they don't slam against each other, and then you can start to find your center. So that's the process. So anyone that's having trouble with balance, mobility, walking, those exercises is what you have to use as building blocks to get your body more accustomed to how to do it. And essentially what you're doing is learning how to move your appendages in the lower half of your body by controlling your center of mass. So Tai Chi is one of the exercises that is prescribed, but it's not just because it's called Tai Chi, it's really the approach of what our principles in Tai Chi. Principle of Tai Chi is to develop balance, controlling the center of mass, shifting of weight, and integration of body. So when we integrate the body, that's really part of that integration. So when we do this, we're learning to shift. When we do this, we're learning to shift. Okay. So if you think of this, which is probably not apparent to you, when I shift my weight like this and I free fall, won't my leg, if I pick it up slightly, start to swing toward the front? So that's kind of magnifying the movement. And so that's what's happening. And that's what's happening when we do this. That's what's happening because gravity is acting on your movement. So I'm spending a little time talking about gravity because a lot of our movements are done using gravity, in a sense that if you want to balance the movement, why not use gravity to control the two directions of movement? The most obvious thing to do to show you how gravity works is if I pick my arm up here and I release it, it's going to fall, right? I release the joint or release the shoulder, it's going to fall. Gravity is acting on my arm. It's acting on the lift as well, but the thing is I'm regulating the strength to take it to here. But what's going to bring it back down is regulating it to here so it doesn't bang into my leg. But if I just let it go, it's that. So try to find the blend of the lifting of that and the free fall of this so that you have balance and motion without forcing it or having conflict from the tension in your body. So when you lift and you just relax, and you lift and you relax, you try to regulate the movement as if it's a wave. So, nothing is more fluid than fluid. Water is a fluid. So nothing is more fluid than that. So your movements can be fluid, and you try to get that flow in the movement. So then when you walk, when you shift, your body will be as if it's in water, just kind of floating through it. But yet, we're on ground, we create the illusion of that smoothness, but then at the same time, we feel solid and connected to ground, and that gives you your stability. So, on that note, I hope you got, enough information from this content to keep working toward that strategy of working better balance, better control, coordination, and try to get rid of the rigidity in here by moving, and then at the same time do the deep breathing exercise to open and expand your chest cavity, get your ribs opening and closing, get your back expanding and contracting. Then your body will not be as tense. And when you move like that, you're not going to be knotted up as much. All right, I'll see you next time, and we'll follow these videos. Actually, we have another class next Tuesday. Tuesday and Thursday are live. Saturdays archived, so you can view that. But that archived videos, it's accessible every day, 24/7. Just go to YouTube, and you can subscribe. There's a bell there. I guess if you hit that bell, it's going to give you a notification. So do that and share this. See you next time.